All right, today we're diving into a really powerful psychology-backed model for modern leadership. It's called the SUPER framework. And yeah, it's a simple acronym, but trust me, it can have a pretty profound impact on how you lead your team. Let's get right into it.
So if you're a manager or a team lead, this is probably the question that keeps you up at night, right? How do you actually get results and keep your team motivated when the world is just constantly changing? Well, the answer isn't some fancy new software or a complicated workflow. It's about getting back to the basics. It's about a deeper understanding of what really makes people tick.
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to get a really clear picture of what the SUPER framework is all about. Then we'll break down each of the 5 pillars one by one. And to finish, we'll connect it all to what might be the single most important skill you can develop as a leader.
Okay, so the SUPER framework, it's way more than just a clever name. It's actually a structured approach backed by real psychology for building teams that aren't just getting things done, but are also deeply connected and, have real mutual respect for one another. And here they are. Each letter in SUPER stands for one of these core pillars: social interest, unity, private logic, equality, and reasons. If you can get these 5 things right, you are well on your way to unlocking your team's true potential. So let's jump in with the first 2, the real foundation, S and U.
So we're starting with S for social interest and U for unity. And look, these are not just some abstract feel-good ideas. They are the absolute foundation of a great team. Because without them, you don't really have a team at all. You just have a group of people who happen to be working near each other.
First up, social interest. This really means shifting your focus beyond just the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a leader's genuine concern for the well-being of their people. And this isn't about being soft or anything like that. It's about understanding a really simple truth. A healthy, supported team is always going to outperform a burnt-out one.
So how do you actually do this? Well, it all comes down to the choices you make every day. It means choosing to protect your team's well-being, even when a deadline is breathing down your neck. And it means taking the time to connect the dots for them, showing them how their individual piece of the puzzle contributes to the bigger picture. That's what gives work real meaning. And that focus on well-being, it naturally leads us to unity. This is the glue that holds everything together. It's the force that gets everyone rowing in the same direction. A super leader doesn't just announce a vision from on high, they create a cohesive environment where that shared vision becomes the team's North Star. You build this unity by talking about that shared vision over and over again, by actively breaking down those silos between different groups, and, this one is so important, by celebrating team wins, not just highlighting individual rock stars. It sends a really powerful message. We're in this together, and we succeed together.
All right, the next pillar, P for private logic, is maybe the most interesting one. And honestly, it's a real game changer for unlocking individual motivation. This is where we get into what makes each person on your team truly tick.
Let me break it down. Every single person on your team, and you too, by the way, operates with a totally unique internal map of the world. This map is built from all their life experiences, their core values, their personal beliefs, everything. And it dictates how they see things, why they make the choices they do, and even how they interpret the feedback you give them. Here's a great way to think about it. Private logic is subjective and individual. It's that personal internal map. It explains why someone might react in a way that surprises you. Common sense, on the other hand, is what we think of as objective and shared. It's the collective understanding of how things should work. A great leader doesn't get frustrated when someone's private logic doesn't match common sense. They get curious and they try to understand that person's unique map.
Now for the final 2 pillars of the SUPER framework, E and R. These really tie it all together because they're all about building an environment that feels fundamentally fair and is driven by a clear purpose.
So, equality. This is about so much more than just a vague idea of fairness. It means treating every single team member with dignity and respect. But here's the crucial part. It is not about treating everyone the exact same. It's about giving everyone the same opportunity to succeed through processes that are fair and impartial. What does that look like in the real world? It's having transparent processes for promotions or for deciding who gets to work on cool new projects. It's when you actively seek out and value different perspectives instead of just listening to the loudest voice in the room. And it's creating a space where people feel safe enough to speak up, to disagree, to be themselves without fear. That's true psychological safety.
And that brings us to our final pillar, R for reasons. This one sounds so simple, but it is so often forgotten. It's the practice of explaining the why. Why are we working on this project? Why are we changing our strategy? And maybe most importantly, why is your role so critical to our success? When you take the time to answer that central why, you're not just barking orders, you're giving people context. And look at the impact that has. It builds massive trust, it empowers your team to make smarter decisions on their own, and it gets rid of so much of the anxiety and confusion that ambiguity creates in the workplace.
Okay, so we've got our 5 pillars: social interest, unity, private logic, equality, and reasons. But how do we actually bring them all together in our day-to-day leadership? Well, this leads us to the single most powerful skill that a super leader can master: the skill of encouragement.
Now, I'm not talking about empty praise like, hey, good job. Real encouragement, the kind that actually motivates people and builds resilience, is only possible when it's built on a solid foundation. And that foundation is the super framework. Your genuine social interest, the team's sense of unity, your understanding of their private logic. That's what makes your words of encouragement feel authentic and powerful, not just hollow.
And here's a simple way to do it. First, make sure you acknowledge the effort, the hard work, and the struggle, not just the final win. Second, show that you have genuine faith in your team's ability to figure things out and overcome challenges. And third, focus your feedback on their specific contributions and the progress they're making. This helps people feel seen, valued, and motivated to keep going.
So let's put it all together one last time. Prioritize your people's well-being. That's social interest. Align everyone around a shared vision. That's unity. Get curious about how each person thinks. That's private logic. Make sure your processes are fair. That's equality. And always, always explain the why. That's reasons. That right there is the super framework.
So as we wrap this up, the real question is for you. Looking at these 5 pillars, which one feels like the biggest opportunity for you and your team right now? Which is the one you could intentionally put into practice starting tomorrow? Your answer to that question could be the first step to becoming a truly super leader.